Today is September 15th, and I am in Hammond, Indiana, which is just like 13 miles east of Chicago. And those of you that don't know, I was actually raised south of Chicago in a town called Homewood up until I graduated from high school in 1971. And so I've seen a lot of Chicago, and as far as spending a lot of time touring Chicago, I really don't need to do that. So the thing that really interests me is the Science and Industry Museum. And the reason the Science and Industry Museum interests me is because it's a really interesting place. I always enjoyed it. They had a captured World War II submarine. I think it was German. They have a live gold mine. Well, it's not a live gold mine, but it's a genuine imitation, fake working gold mine, and a lot of other cool stuff. And so today I'm going to spend the day at the Chicago Science and Industry Museum. And I'm currently making myself lunch. I had thought about doing peanut butter and jelly tacos, burritos, or whatever you want to call these. But when I do that, they make a mess. It leaks out no matter how hard I try and fold it, no matter how many times I put plastic around it or a paper towel or whatever. It always seems to leak all over me and make a mess out of me. So I really don't want to make a mess. So I decided to make myself a little bit of a more of a healthy burrito. And my burritos are going to be cheese and lettuce. One of the interesting things about lettuce that I learned, Grace told me about this, was that I used to cut them into, like when I'd make a salad, I would cut a quarter, have a quarter like they do in the restaurants. Well, I was doing something like that one, and Grace says, well, if you just peel off the leaves one at a time and leave it whole, it'll stay fresher longer. And so I said, well, that's kind of interesting. I think I'll try that. And by golly, she's right. That by peeling off the lettuce, one leaf at a time, it lasts a lot longer. My lettuce is lasting days and days in my ice cooler. And that is really cool. So I don't have to throw any waste out. And I like that idea, not having to throw any waste out. Well, let me take this first and grab one of these bags here first. And what I learned from this last one was that I need to get in here and stretch stuff out before I try and put the burrito in. It'll probably work a lot smoother. So today, I've already bought tickets online, and then they also have a Pompeii exhibit there. So I bought tickets to go to the Pompeii exhibit as well. And so I'll be Ubering over there today. That is the fastest way. And it's only I think it's only like less than 15 miles away. So I'll be doing that today, and then spending the day at the Science and Industry Museum. More later. That I'd go to the Science and Industry Museum and hang out there today. Although when I used to go there in high school, it was free.
Yeah.
It's not free anymore.
No. Unless you are from Illinois, and that's certain days, like I think Wednesdays.
Oh, on the second Wednesdays of the month?
Something like that, yeah. It's
free day?
You. But if you're not from there, you're going to pay no matter what.
Yeah. I'm not from here anymore, so I'm going to pay no matter what.
Yeah, no. And it's not cheap anymore.
Nah, it was like $27.
Yeah.
Made it to the Science and Industry Museum. This is a huge place. It's one of my favorite places to come. We actually came here with my mom and dad, but also during high school, we would ditch school and come down here and hang out. At that time, it was free. guess what? It's not free anymore. The entranceway to the museum. A lot has changed since I was last here in either 1970 or 71. Very updated, very bright. They open up with a tour of the old Zephyr, so you're able to walk through it, and it was quite the train of its time, well over 100 miles an hour. In the section, the mold factory, where they're talking about how to mold different things and the advancement in that technology. Injection molding machine uses the same particles as injection molding here. The mold high-tech farm equipment. And Leonard would be glad to see that they have John Deere tractors here, not the red guys. He would enjoy that. You know, most of your city kids never have an opportunity to see this kind of farm animals and where the milk comes from, where the corn comes from, how it's harvested. They just don't have that experience at all. Getting ready to see Colleen Moore's Fairy Castle. If you believe in your dreams will come to life. The Fairy Castle.
Welcome to Colleen Moore's Fairy Castle.
Oops, there's a stair here. I didn't see.
You are now standing in front of the library. The library is decorated in a sea motif. Over the fireplace stands Captain Kidd with his treasure behind him. The door to the right shows Robinson Crusoe and his man Friday. Above the other door is Gulliver, pulling the Lilliputian ships through the gates of the city. The furniture is made of verdigris copper. Seahorses and sea snails hold the shell-like furniture, which is made for fairy folk who like to read in different positions. The chair that is turned up in front is made for a little elf who likes to read with his feet in the air. There are over 100 real books, many handwritten by some of the most prominent authors of the 20th century. These are first and only editions. On the reading stand is a dictionary. This was given to Colleen Moore by her father when she was only 5 years old. It is what started her whole collection of books. There are a lot of other printed books in the library, many of them over 150 years old. Now we pass on to the room above the small hall. This is the cave of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. The treasure is reached by a trap door, which opens only if you say the magic word. Now let's move along into the chapel. Be very quiet and you can hear the music. It's coming from that little organ. To the right of the organ is the vigil light. In the top is a very large diamond, which was originally in Colleen Moore's mother's engagement ring. The diamond's final resting place in the fairy castle is Colleen's tribute to the memory of her mother. The silver throne you see is a copy of the famous English throne in Westminster Abbey. The statue on the pedestal to the right near the front is a bust of Pope Pius IX, and on the bottom is the seal of the Vatican. On the prayer bench in front of the altar is a small Bible printed in 1840. It is the smallest Bible in the world and is printed with real type. On the prayer bench is a small book depicting the lives of the saints, illustrated. Follow your own. You are now looking into the fairy castle's great hall. Outside, above the room, is the good fairy welcoming you to fairyland. Below her are figures of Cinderella, the prince, and the wicked stepmother. The floating staircase in the center of the room has no railings because fairy folk balance themselves with their wings, and should they stumble, they simply fly away. The ceiling of this great hall is painted with scenes from the stories of Hans Christian Andersen, as well as Grimm's fairy tales. Over the door, at the back of the room, is the Pied Piper of Hamelin with the children climbing up the wall to get him. The knights in armor, at each side of the door, are silver and came from the collection of Rudolph Valentino, a famous motion picture actor of the 1920s. The tall glass windows at the rear are etched with fairy tales: Jack and the Beanstalk, The Princess and the Seven Swans, and Prince Charming. In the roped-off sections are treasures of fairyland. To the left and on that low rosewood table are Cinderella's glass slippers. They are hollow with high heels and have tiny red glass bones. These are the tiniest little glass slippers that have ever been made. Next are the silver skates belonging, of course, to Hans Brinker. And under that glass bell, the tiny chairs of the three bears sit on the heads of pins, the largest weighing only 1/150,000th of an ounce. There are many things in the Great Hall that are very old. For example, you can see to the left, way in the back of the room, a green pedestal, a statue. A bust of a wolf. Welcome to Cinderella's drawing room. Look at the floor. It was made in China years ago and is of rose quartz and jade. The chandelier hanging in the center of the room is gold, hung with real diamonds, emeralds, and pearls. To the left, you can see a little chess table just waiting for the wee folk to come and play. The painting on the wall is of Cinderella. The vases on each side of the door going into the Great Hall are made of carved amber that is over 500 years old. They came from the collection of the Empress Dowager of China. The next room is the dining room with King Arthur's round table in the center. Beside the gold plates are wee knives and forks, also of gold. The glasses are crystal, and most of them are over 100 years old. The tapestries on the wall, which are needlepoint made in Vienna, are the smallest stitches that have ever been stitched. You can hardly see them, even under a magnifying glass. Upstairs is the bedroom of the prince. This room tells the story of the Russian little Tsar Satur. The story is carved in the furniture. The polar bear, of course, was shot by the prince. It's really an ermine skin with a mouse's teeth. The sword standing by the wardrobe is Excalibur, King Arthur's sword. Next to the bedroom is the bathroom. Welcome to Colleen Moore's Fairy Castle. Come along on a trip to fairyland. In order to go on this trip, you have to pretend that you are only 5 inches tall so that you can walk through the rooms.
NASA, Henry Crown Museum, documenting the space race and everything that has occurred recently. This is Apollo 7 after it was retrieved. Don't need to worry about the snack room. I brought my own food. But check this out. lunar lander. All right, heading into the transportation gallery. And that's some great train stuff, plane stuff, just all kinds of great transportation things. And I think, wait, is that a Boeing 737 up there? Awesome. Caboose or train. Good old Model T. City models. Brian might be interested in something like this. He's an architect. And the good old train set. Glad to see this is still around. Train Bob Kloss would really like this. The Conestoga wagons, the wagon of the farmer and the merchant. And actually, when they were moving these with material, the farmers drove their wagons by walking alongside the teams, not on the wagon. And usually there was 6 to 8 different animals pulling them. And on the other side, we have the stagecoaches, or the humans. Pretty neat. Art of the bicycle. Definitely a section that my brother Kevin would definitely appreciate. He's right now a mountain bike enthusiast. He's done quite a bit of mountain biking. As a matter of fact, he was on a couple of the designers with the state of Colorado, helping design mountain bike trails. And I even have a display here of the art of the bike seat. All kinds of different shapes and sizes. I can attest that if you don't have the right seat and adjusted the right way, particularly with a guy, it hurts. It is not very comfortable. Schwinn's, I had a Schwinn like this when I was growing up. I remember we used to ride them down a real steep hill, and that spring would catch the bumps. And I felt as though I needed that because the bike before it that I actually made from parts in a junkyard, we managed to bend the forks going down the hills and jumping off the sides of the hills. And so over here, we have some of the different styles of bikes. Like 2013, the Pompeii, the electric hybrid. Another hybrid. So here you got a pedal bike. One of these folding bikes. A couple of the loopers have folding bikes on their boats. I kind of looked at those and decided I really didn't have the room for that kind of transportation, so I hoof it, and if it's too far to walk, then I Uber it like I did today. Yeah, so where there's a will, there's a way. Trek. I see there's a trek that was started in Michigan. Just one guy in his garage. Quite an interesting exhibit for those that like bikes. Had a great time at the Science and Industry Museum today. A couple real interesting things there. A couple exhibits. There was exhibit there in regards to global warming with the ice melting and things. Very impressive. Really brings to mind the situation we're in. And then I finished up my day with the blue seas, all about the plastic situation in the oceans and everything that everybody needs to do to help curb that situation right now. And right now the solution is to stop putting plastics in the ocean. As far as cleaning it up, what's in there is in there. So we just need to stop it. It's been a wonderful day. Really enjoyed it. The museum has definitely changed a lot since I was in it back in '71, that's for sure. So again, thanks for tuning in. Had a wonderful day. Thanks for sharing, and may all your seas be calm.